Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar where we're going to be having a look at using custom fields within Sage 50 accounts, what they are, and also why you might use them as well. My name's Laura, and I'm going to be hosting the webinar today, and it is just myself today as well. So today I'll be giving you an introduction into using custom fields within your Sage 50 account software. And then I'm going to go through some demonstrations within the program and show you where you can customize these and what you may typically use them for as well. I'll also provide some, like I say, useful links to guides on our help center, which basically covers what we're looking at today as well, just so then you've got that written down too. And we'll also have a look at some questions as well. Custom fields allow you to capture additional information beyond the standard fields provided by the software. It just gives you an extra level of analysis. Field labels can be configured, making them more relevant to the needs of your business. So rather than them being called analysis 1, 2, 3, etc., like you can see on the slide, you can actually rename them just so it makes it more relevant to what you're using them for. You can customize your data. You can apply filters to search through your data, as well as running reports based on this information, or send it to Excel if you prefer. Custom fields are available within your customers and your suppliers module. We're concentrating on customers today. You can also get them in products and services. Now, custom fields are not available in this area if you're using the essentials version of the software. It's also available in invoices, quotations, projects, and sales orders and purchase orders. And that's available on the professional level of the software there. The customers is the area that we're going to be focusing on today, as implied by the title, but the process for the other areas is just the same. There's no difference there. So I'm going to pop into my software and we can have a look at some of the demonstration there. So I'm just going to open up my Sage. So you should be able to see that on the screen now. So I'm in my customers module. And if we just have a look, I'm going to open up one of my customers records. So I can either double click on it or I can click edit at the top. It'll do exactly the same thing. It'll open up my customer record for me. Just maximize that so you can see that a bit better. And I'm going to go to my defaults tab on the left hand side. And we can see within here, custom fields. So I've got these options in here and I've got 6 different options within custom fields that I can use. And the custom fields are set by default to analysis 1 to 6. But as I said, these can be renamed to something more specific for your company needs. And the beauty is that they can be used for absolutely anything, such as recording information against a customer record or analysing data in a specific way, such as the customer type. So you may have, are they trade or are they retail? So we'll go in and we'll have a look at where you can change the names of these first of all. So I'll close out with the customer record. And I'm going to go into settings at the top and then configuration. Just tells us it's going to close all open windows. Just going to say yes to that. I'll drag that over because it always opens on my other screen there. And we get this window. And we're going to have a look. We've got a tab at the top and it says custom fields. So I'm going to click on that one. Now within here, you've got your customer records. So you can change the analysis names or the analysis field names for your customer records on here, for your supplier record, for departments as well. You've got your quotations, sales orders, invoices, purchase orders, depending on the level of the software that you're using. So I might want to change analysis 1, take that out of here, and I'm going to change it to customer type. Now you are limited to 10 characters. So it might be that you need to sort of abbreviate. So I'm going to put cust type in there. I'm going to change that and I'm just going to say, okay. I will pop back into customers. I'll open up my customer record again and go back to my defaults tab. And we can see now my custom field or analysis 1 has been changed to cust type. So I can pop in there, are they trade or are they retail? However I want to log that on there. So I'm just going to type into the box. I'm going to start typing trade. You can see there it comes up. We've got some options in here if you've used them before. So I'm going to put it in as trade. If you've got any spelling mistakes, so you've got any in here that you think that I don't need that in there, you can right click in here. You can delete them all so it completely clears it. If you've got a big long list of things in here, you can get rid of them all. Or if you've got one where it might have a spelling mistake, or you might have used a lowercase letter by mistake, you can just delete that one if you want to. But I'm going to put that down as trade. And then I'm just going to save it. And I'll close out of it. And then you might think, well, how can you tell if it's a trade customer just looking at the list on here? But you can configure these columns along the top, so you can add additional columns in. So if I right click anywhere along here, you get a big long list of all the things that I can add in that I might want to see at a glance. Now, if I scroll down, because the analysis are near the bottom, you can see here I've got analysis starts from 2 all the way through to 6. But analysis 1 has been changed to cust type because that's what I've amended it to. So if I just click on that, pops another column in for me, and I can now see my customer types. So I've got a lot of trade, got a cash one, I've got a public one. So I've got a few different types in there, and I can just see that from a glance. Now, you might want to change a few of them at once on there. Now, this isn't available within the Essentials version, but there is a workaround for that, which I will show you as well. But there is batch changes, which you may have seen. We ran a webinar on this just last week on batch changes. So if I highlight a few of my customers, so I'm just going to highlight those 3 there, click on batch changes. It'll open up a blank record. I can go to my defaults tab and I can type in, this will make these ones public. Save that. Tells me I'm making changes to multiple records, so I know I'm changing more than one, and I can just say yes to that, close out of it. Just a bit of a quicker way of doing it as well. Now you can filter on this as well. So say you wanted to maybe send this information to Excel, or if you wanted to run maybe, I don't know, a customer report with all of your public or your trade customers on, you can also do that by applying a filter. So you might just want to see your trade customers. So if I just clear, so I haven't got anything highlighted, and I can click on filter at the top here. And we can start to build a filter. So my first box, I'm under join, I'm going to select where. And in the field, now there's a drop-down box. You can scroll up and down in here, or you can start typing. So if I just put in, say, for customer, I can scroll down with my mouse until I get to customer type as well, which is just there. So whichever's easiest. And then the condition. So I want to say is equal to, because I want to show all of my trade customers. So I'm going to select is equal to. And then the value. Now this is not case sensitive. You may see over here, I've got some which say public, and I've got a uppercase P, and I've got some in lowercase on there as well. It doesn't matter. So this is not case sensitive. So you're absolutely fine if you're putting in, I put trade in with lowercase on there. I think the majority of my trade have got uppercase looking at them. I just click apply to that, close. I've now got all of my trade customers showing. Alternatively, I might just want to show all my customers that are not trade. So if I go back to the filter, still got the information in here. I could change this to the drop down box and I could say is not equal to. And if I apply that, it gives me everything else on there. So everything that's public, cash, or I don't have. Some of them I don't have what type of customer they are in there. So I'm going to go back and change that. I'm going to say I actually want to show all of my trade customers, apply that filter and close it. So at this point, you might want to send it to Excel just by simply clicking send to Excel. It'll just export that information, just your trade customers on there. You've got a list of them. They're all on there. It might be that you want to run just a report. So if we go into reports, and I might want to just run my customer list on there. So if I don't have it favorited, so I'll just take away that star. I go into customer details. There's my customer list there. It might be something that I use quite often, so I can highlight that. So it puts it into my favorites list. So as you saw there, when I open up my reports, the reports that I use all the time would be in a list here. So say it's just my customer list. I can then go and preview that, choose my criteria. I just want to show them all and click OK. And then I've got a list of just my trade customers there, which I can print off or I can email it, etc., however you want to use that information. So it's quite good for getting that additional detail on there. Now, Andy, you've just asked if you don't use, just close out with this, if you don't use, or if you've got the Essentials version and you're wanting to make batch changes, there is an alternative on there. You're right. So I did mention there was. I'm just going to clear that filter on there. Now, it might be that, say, I've got some customers on here that I want to change and I want to show them as public on there. So we can pop on, we can export the details. So if I do send to Excel, send all of my data to Excel, there's going to be a longer list because I've got all of them, not just my trade customers on there. Now, say I want my first few to be cash. I'll just copy that. I'm just going to make these cash customers. We'll save it as that. And I'm just going to go to File, Save As. I'll pop it on my desktop just to make it a bit easier to get to. So if I look for my desktop on there, and we will just call this customer list. And then I'm just going to save this. And this is basically, if you watched our batch changes webinar, this is basically just importing the data. So we ran through importing last week, I think it was. So I'm going to close out of this now. And then I'll go back, get my Sage open on the screen there for you. And I'm going to import it in. So at the minute, I've got a trade one, I've got some public ones on there. I've changed them to cash. So I'm going to go to File at the top, and I'm going to go to Import. Yes to that. Whenever you're importing data in, always just take a backup, just in case you imported the wrong information. You could be 100% certain you've got the right one, but I would always say take a backup. But just in to do it speedily, I'm just going to skip over that. It's customer records that I'm importing in, so I'm going to say next to that. And then I'm just going to browse. So it's an Excel worksheet that I've used. I'm just going to browse to my desktop. It's my customer list. I'm just going to say open to that. Pops it in. The first row contains headings. So that just means that the heading on the top, well, it had headings basically. The first line wasn't information. And I'm going to say next to that on there. And then I'm going to map in what I want to show. So the only required field is the account reference. So if I pop that in, and then if I scroll down, the first one, now this is the Sage field. Now, because this is the standard Sage field, obviously analysis one hasn't been changed in here, but we changed ours. So if I'm just going to scroll down, and there's my customer type. So I know that my customer type column is analysis one field in Sage. And then I'm just going to say next. Gives us a bit of a summary, and I'm just going to say import to that. Just give that a moment because it runs through two checks, one to just check that the data is okay and one to check that it can write it into Sage. So if we go back to customers now, we can see now in this column, we've got cash. So if you don't have batch changes, you can just export the data, make the changes, import it back in, and it'll do it quickly for you that way. So you've got both options on there. Now, James, you've asked what else can you use them for? Well, like I say, the beauty is you can use them for absolutely anything. So if we go back into settings, configuration, we'll just go back into the little window. I'll just drag that over. I'll go back to custom fields. So you've got 6 different options that you could use it for. And like I say, you could put anything in here. So you could put in, you could choose it like a sales rep. So if you've got a sales rep at the company, pop that in there. So you could have a sales rep that deals with so many customers. You could have an area, change that. You could have the area that the customer or the region that the customer is from, and so on. So you can change all of these. So if I click OK to that, if I go back into customers, and again, I'll open up the first one again. Back to my defaults tab. So if I've got a sales rep, I might have one, just pop my name in. So I could be the sales rep for so many different customers. The area that it might be in the northeast. Leave those on there. Close out with that. We could pop in. So I've got my customer type. If I right click on here, remember the analysis, they're all down at the bottom. So I scroll down a bit, you can see it's changed my analysis 2 and analysis 3. I've now got sales rep and I've got area. So we could pop column in for those as well. So I've already got some. I've got a Malcolm and I've got a George in there. Go back in again, scroll right down to the bottom. I could put the area on there as well. There, so I've got different areas that I could print it off. So it might be that you just want to see all of the customers that are from Scotland on there. Go into, we could pop a filter on, we could change the customer type, we could have it as the area. Equal to, and then if I pop in there, it might be that I want to put Scotland. Yeah, so I've just got the 2 customers on there. But it just means you can narrow that data down and then you can run reports for that on there. So Carol, you've asked, can you use them for service descriptions? Yeah, you can literally use it for anything that you want to on there. There's no sort of limit as to what you want to put in there because it's something that you can just type in and you can change it. It's something that you can amend it to if you want to. So the other areas, I'll pop into the other areas. I know we're looking at customers, but if I'll remove that filter. The other areas that you can have a look at it in, just to cover them as well. So if we have a look at invoices and credits, quite a few invoices in here. So if I just open up a new invoice on there, and if we go to the order tab, so you've got custom fields within here. You've got 3 custom fields within your invoices and your credits tab. So you can pop details on there if you want to, and then you can drill down on your analysis that way. It's also available in your sales orders and purchase orders. So if you're using the professional level of the software, you can use it in your sales orders. So if I just pop into there and just show you there as well. New at the top, make that a bit bigger so you can see that. Again, in the order tab, and you've got 3 custom fields in there as well. With that one, purchase order is exactly the same, so no difference there. So this is what I mean when I'm saying that these all look the same. When you come into them, it'll depend on whether you've got 3 or you've got 6 of these analysis fields. But there you go, purchase orders. Suppliers looks exactly the same as customers. So if I pop into my suppliers record, just open up a blank new one. That's in your defaults tab, and you've got 6 in here as well. We've also got it in products and services. So Carol, that's what you were asking before. So if I pop into products and services on there, if we go to new, and this one is within the web tab. So if I click on web, just at the bottom here, you've got category A, B, and C. Slightly different wording, but you've still got those custom fields in there as well. And you've also got it in projects as well. So if I go to the projects, so if anybody is using projects, you can pop it in here as well. That a little bit bigger, and it's in the analysis tab on that one. You've got 3 in this one for your projects. I just go back into settings as well, configuration, so where you can actually change those field names, and just drag that across because it always closes on or opens on the other window. If I go to custom fields, you'll notice you've got customer records, supplier records, you've got your departments, you've got your purchase orders, sales orders, your quotes, your invoices in there as well. Your projects, those are under projects, under project costing. That's where if you're using projects, they're in a slightly different area there, and products within here as well. So you've got custom fields showing in here too. But like I say, they are completely customizable. You can change them to anything you want to, and you can run the reports. It just gives you that extra level of sort of analysis on there for the information. So as we've looked at there, you can rename your custom fields just as you would to access settings at the top, like we've just looked at there in your Sage 50 account. So you're just going to go into configuration and then custom fields to change the name of the field label tabs. And then you've got that separate option for your projects and for products on there as well. So it just means you can go in, you can make changes on there. You can drill down on the information better. Don't forget, if you're getting any more questions coming in on there, pop those questions in. I'll keep this open for a little bit longer, just while we're having a look and going through them. Carol, I'll pop you an email afterwards just to get a bit more information, if that's all right. I can see your question there, just about the invoice and credits, just to make it find it easier if you've got a duplicate on there. I'll pop you an email after the webinar's finished there, just to get a bit more information, if that's okay. But if anybody else has got any questions, pop them in, and then we can have a look at them there. I've also popped on our guides just from our help center there as well. So you've got your configuration editor. So that's the window that you open up to change those label names. And you've also got adding custom fields to your records there as well. So these are great guides, give you sort of in-depth information onto them as to what you can use them for. But like I say, just whatever you want to pop in there, you can customize it. And as always, I've popped on a link to our webinars page there. So you've got your payroll as well as your accounts too. You've got all of your live ones that you can sign up for, and of course, all of the recordings there. And just to let you know that we do offer personalised one-to-one training. So if you'd like a dedicated one-to-one remote session with one of our experts that can tailor the call for you and your needs, just scan the QR code and complete the form there. It is a short form that you fill in, and then what we'll do is we'll contact you within 48 hours just to have a chat around some possibly recommendations on what we think might suit you and your needs, even if you just want to gain a bit more confidence or automate some processes as well, just make things that are day to day a bit quicker and easier. Just let us know. We'll also include a link to the access form on the follow-up email, as well as the QR code that you can scan there. But other than that, you can either link onto that on the follow-up email or just scan that QR code on the slides. But that does bring us to the end of today's session there around custom fields. So I did say it is nice and like a short one on there, like a little quick learn. So I hope that it has been useful and you can see why you might use them, and also the benefits as well. Being able to give that additional level of analysis to your records there, for you to be able to sort of put more filters on as well. Don't forget, you will get a survey when leaving today's session, which I'd love it if you could leave us any feedback or any comments. It always helps us out, and we do like reading the comments when they come in as well there. Or if there's anything else you would like to see a webinar on, perhaps pop that on the form as well. But I hope that quick learn has been helpful, and I just want to say thank you for attending as well, and have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you very much.